Well, it's really the most important time of the year. I mean, you only get a certain window to be able to get the crop in the ground and optimize emergence and get that plant started off right in terms of growth for the year. You know, the timing of it, these guys are running 24 hours a day trying to get a crop in the ground, and we have to be available to support them.
Across the backbone harness. It may be something more in that PDM than out on the bar. That PDM is really the only thing that's PDM, and in that can harness that you're looking at is really the only thing that's common between all three sections.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'd check power on that PDM. I bet we got something going on inside there.
Matt Yonke, I'm the precision farming specialist here at the Crawfordsville store. Primarily, it's supporting all the precision farming equipment, supporting and selling all the precision farming equipment on case equipment, getting into some of the aftermarkets on deer, cat, all the AGCO stuff. So yeah, it's supporting all the technology that can go into agriculture pretty much.
This has been the hardest year I've had in a long time. Just random problems that really don't have a solution. Everything from having a 30-inch bulk row on one side of a 60-foot planter and a 40-inch bulk row on the other side. Liquid fertilizer problems. Then trying to remember the differences between like a 1255 planter and a 2150 planter. Yeah, it's just been a really, really chaotic year. Getting this planter started, it's new to the customer, coming out of a Kinsey into this, so see if we can't show him how to run it and start putting some seed in the ground.
So we just pull this thing on into the burn pile, Dan, or what are we doing here? You'll probably bill me freight for it.
Oh, no. They'll write a check to us. That's how that works, man.
Oh, all right. Hey, Tyler.
Right now, and it's about getting stuff delivered and settled.
Who do you have to coordinate with?
Service department.
There'll probably be a truck to pick up that blue hole and hay mower.
Getting stuff out the door. Parts guys, pretty much everybody. Do you have the heavy duty lift cylinders? Get figured out. Okay, thanks.
Maybe these guys.
That is I. Hey, these are yours.
40?
That's that credit card for that guy. 5300. Hang on. Both. Michael over here, AFS, make sure all the guidance is calibrated and tuned in, and typically once we deliver it, there's always some things that they don't show their face until after it's had a little working in the field, you know.
What's a common theme right now guys asking for?
Quality control. A little better going through at the factories, I would think. Availability on large machines is kind of hard right now, and sometimes they're understanding, sometimes they're not.
What happened, Sam?
Nothing. Just another day. New unit down. Tomorrow will be something else. I'm used to it. Just the way of life around these parts.
Are your customers used to you?
I ain't gonna have none left.
How many calls do you think you're making in a day?
I don't know, on a busy day, probably 50, 60 maybe, something like that, I don't know. I never really counted them up. It's the substance of the phone calls, whether it is a good or bad day, not the amount of them.
Okay, Dan, back to what I was saying. You keep saying the modular. Whatever, I'll be back. Whatever.
It's been kind of drawn out just because of the rain and the cold weather. We got people that are just now starting because they were worried about the cold shocking their crops. And then we're about 50-50 split right now. People finishing up, people just starting. So it'll get better. All the bigger guys are finishing up. The smaller farmers are starting to come in.
How's this weekend looking?
It's looking like work. Gonna be nice. So I know a lot of people are gonna be starting, and usually first days are pretty bad.
Yep.
And then again, first days sometimes aren't bad at all. So I think we're gonna be working a lot this weekend.
We back in the field, we ready, it's time. There's nothing but hustle inside of the huddle, you know that I grind. A dangerous mind, a weapon of choice when pushing the line. Go overtime and I won't break when it's crunch time. My end game is number one. Bet it all, give me my cash. Supreme game, can't stop it. Take off like a rocket. Break it back, don't bend mine. I'm the one now, you can't hide. Legendary like legacy. This is our moment, our time. This is our moment. This is our time. Time is now. It's time to rise. This is our moment. This is our time. The time is now. It's time to rise.
So when somebody walks through that door, what are you, I guess what's kind of normal procedure? I know everything's different depending on what problem they have, but...
I mean, I always ask them how they are. I mean, you can pretty well gauge on how the transaction's going to go just by their tone of voice. And you can tell how quick you got to work at that point. Clearly marked bearings. Then we have our lock collars. First, you're going to get your make and model. Come down to our dust caps. Dust caps are important. I try to have every O-ring, but that is impossible. I mean, every now and then you need a serial number for serial number brakes and stuff like that, but I think I've been here long enough. I just walk back to wherever and grab said part and come back. Slotted nuts, lock nuts, lug nuts, wheel bolts.
This is on a 3600.
Who are the main people you're coordinating with to, get customers what they need?
Sometimes most of the time I deal directly with the customer. I work with the shop a lot, technicians, stuff like that. Kinsey parts, odds and ends in this one. Antique drawers here. As long as I have a happy customer at the end of the day, that's what makes it important. All right. Thanks, Tom.
Yep.
Yeah. So try with his motor, and then
It's a quick swap.
yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Yep. Bulk fill, fan motor. With thinking that maybe it had gone out, but actually the bearing in the center hub blocked up. So we're going to go rob a whole fan assembly off a new planer for an old planer. Okay. Well, I get out there, I gotta take his off, and then kind of like a turbo, you gotta clock that different because they're different on this one compared to the one he's got. Try to hurry and get this done so you can go plant.
Never know where you're gonna be, do you, Dan?
No. I don't think I have too much time left here. If you're still stuck, I'll pull you out when you come back. Truck's stuck in the field. We'll let you get back to it.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome. So went out there, he said he couldn't get his bulk fill fan to run. Went out there, made sure it had hydraulic flow to it. I've never actually seen one of these bearings go out like this. I've changed plenty of motors. So had him run to get a motor, got the old motor pulled off, found the bearing bad. Nobody had a bearing. So we went and robbed a whole fan off the planer at the shop. Went out there, put that on, had some wiring issues going on, reconfigured the planer monitor. And here in the next 15-20 minutes, we'll go back and try to figure out some more electrical problems.
At Barclays, that was a brand new planer to them, a 2140 planer, coming out of a ground drive finger pickup Kinsey. So huge step up in technology. So it was really just making sure that they knew how to run the planer, making sure that the planer was going to do what it was supposed to and was set correctly, and then showing them how to make the adjustments so that they could make their own adjustments going through the season. So yeah, it was just pretty run-of-the-mill field start, just showing them how to operate the machine and make sure that it would operate. They didn't run into any problems. Typically, if you have problems, it's going to be that first field.
Control, and then this is where it reads it.
Okay, so you got set at 125.
There, it's 115, so it just takes a little while for it to get there. Yeah, let's get out and look, make sure everything was running.
You know which rows?
Yeah, it was several of them. I just want to make sure it's actually planting.
So just dig.
Yep. Okay. Well, go have a ball. I'll be right here, but I'm gonna let you go run it by yourself for a couple passes while I'm still close.
Okay. And so yeah, it is barking. It will shut off when I come back around.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
What's the conclusion here?
Going back and forth, so everything started about the way I thought it was going to. Had a few issues, just more or less just settings. Playing with the bulk fill, playing with depth, downforce, that kind of thing. But I don't think it took me an hour and a half. He's
going back and forth pretty confidently now.
Good deal. What's next?
I don't know yet. I gotta make some phone calls and find out.
What's Augie doing up there? Look at it. Get that Viking up there wearing sunglasses.
Lots of stuff above my head because I'm vertically challenged.
Now we just gotta figure out where he's stuck at and hope we don't get stuck. Oh hell, he's stuck right beside the road. See, even in the springtime, you still get to go mudding some.
I'll back up, Pete.
What's the scenario, Krug?
I tried to get out of here. I didn't make it. Later.